What up, Forgelings? Welcome to Forge Master Metal Reviews, the place where you can get the most out of your metal.
We are talking about our best of August. Russian Circles are here with their 8th full-length record, this one titled Gnosis, released by Sargent House. Man, this band just doesn't fail to deliver for me. They definitely carved a niche out for themselves, absolutely dominating the instrumental metal scene. Beyond that, though, I think these guys are total scientists when it comes to dialing in their guitar tones, from the pedals to the amps. These guys run a signal chain that really leans into that postmodern metal sound that the band is known for. The production is mixed in such a way that gives contrast between the clean and heavy sections, and anytime a section gets explosive, the energy in the mix just elevates, dude. It's perfectly engineered. Crank up that bass and let those low frequencies blast you apart. If you crave crushing, originally written syncopation, it's here, dude. If you want to dance and shout into the void, there's plenty of grooving to be had on this record, all without worrying about some poor schmuck ruining it with their vocals. No, you won't hear any of that shit on this. This is instrumental only. This band has just shown me that they don't deliver subpar material, and their entire discography, it's probably sitting somewhere in the middle, but don't let that deter you from listening to this. Honestly, if you're gonna check them out, I'd probably start from their first album and just work your way down. You can't go wrong. Overall, this album gets 4.2 out of 5 construction workers on the grid.
My pick is Soilwork, Övergivenheten, released August 19th on Nuclear Blast. I've always loved Soilwork since the Chainheart Machine days, and it's no stranger to the average Soilwork fan how diverse the music from this band has been throughout their massive discography. Their newest effort, though, quickly became one of my favorite albums in their entire record collection. Although it's a bit on the lengthier side, over an hour, I have no idea what songs I would cut. The band has clearly learned how to balance the extreme metal side with progressive and classic rock anthemic melodies, and I feel like this, although familiar, is almost a new level for the band in execution. No doubt, Bjorn has learned a lot about writing catchy vocal hooks from not only his early days in Soilwork, but also with his other melodic rock 80s inspired band, the Night Flight Orchestra. Some of these choruses, though, are easily some of the best in music that's been put out this year, period. I've heard this album on repeat all fucking month, and it's been everything from blistering speed, blast beats, and melodic death metal riffing to just fist pumping rock anthemic riffs, and it just fucking works, dude. Other than the runtime, this is a perfect score for me. 5 out of 5 birds sprouting flowers.
The runtime has kept me from this one because I've been checking out other things, but I am absolutely pumped to scope this. Their last one was one of my favorites. Australian tech death metalers Psycroptic have delivered yet another stunning album, adding onto their practically perfect discography as it is. Divine Council was released by Prosthetic Records. Some of you have thanked us for putting Psycroptic on your radar, and I hope that you are just as blown away by this release as we are. This band has been around for roughly 2 decades, but it wasn't until 2012's The Inherited Repression that really put them on the map for me. That album is fucking insane with the craziest grooves and riffs I've ever heard, dude. Brothers Joe and Dave Haley are the respective guitarist and drummer of the band, and they totally hold this group together. Joe's guitar tone is one of my favorites in all of metal. No one else has a guitar tone that sounds like Joe's, and you immediately know that you're listening to Psycroptic when the guitars and drums start going. Unbelievable stuff in that department. Divine Council feels as if you are standing before a Divine Council. There's lots of orchestral elements really pushing the band into more symphonic direction. It's not bad, and I think they handle it very well. I really have to applaud the vocal performance by singer Jason Pepiat. The band does a lot of really wild stuff with the vocals, layering cleans and harshes, going with more shouted, hardcore-inspired vocals, all mixed in with your typical death metal ranges. Sometimes it doesn't quite work on the album, but I don't mind them experimenting with this stuff. It didn't turn me off enough that I didn't want to finish a song. Overall, this is one of my favorite records from Psycroptic, and certainly an Album of the Year contender for me. This is a gold level record. If you are a tech death fan and you don't know who Psycroptic is, I'm assessing you a minor penalty. Get in the boo box until you spin this record. Divine Council gets 4.8 out of 5. Drowning Gods. Don't pass this one up.
Totally deserves that score. This is one of my favorite albums. If you didn't put it on this list, I would have.
Yeah.
There is a place that holds the answer when nothing calls to be.
My next pick is the Halo Effect Days of the Lost, released August 12th on Nuclear Blast. Metalheads have been spoiled with melodic death this month, no doubt. The Halo Effect flew in on the scene. All of the salty metal fans who watched In Flames fall into Korn new metal territory. Make no mistake here, though. This is a supergroup of In Flames and Dark Tranquillity fame, and the musicianship shows how much mastery of the style can be showcased here with the mastery in the band. Days of the Lost feels like musically somewhere in the Colony and Clayman era of In Flames, mixed with the catchy riffing and vocal prowess of the Adama era of Dark Tranquillity. Extremely familiar, and I ain't complaining, man. Metal fans be like, where's In Flames? And the Halo Effect delivers, and fans are still like, sounds the same, no surprises here. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. What else do you want? Michael Stan, unsurprisingly, shows that he can absolutely slay the harsh and clean vocal style that he's been perfecting for decades. Every song showcases the earworm melodic death metal riffing and guitar harmonies. Those harrowing sounds are all too familiar, sure, but they're highly welcome back. The 40-minute runtime is tight, and this was another album that showed that the greats still fucking got it. 4.7 out of 5, Mosaic Dragons.
Right on the money with that score, bro. This was a great album, and honestly, I think the singles were like average compared to the other tracks on there, man. There's some bangers on this one. UK-based Doom Lords Conan have released their latest full-length Evidence of Mortality. This is a band that really exploded onto the Doom scene, unleashing an epic atmosphere that was really unmatched by any other band in the subgenre. You've said it before, it really sounds like you're traversing the world of Conan. From the deserts where the vultures got their necks wrung and bit, to the bandit camps, to where Conan punches a camel, you feel like you're following the mighty barbarian himself when you listen to these albums. Overall, I actually really like the direction that this band went in. It's big and loud, but it's not like motorcycle stoner doom, you know, like Russian circles. These players are also tone freaks. Chris Fielding, the bass player, is one of our favorite audio engineers, and he gets down to business in this one. Man, the mixing on this record is unbelievable. I'm glad that they didn't play it safe on this record either. They certainly established themselves very squarely into the Doom corner, but there are definitely more times where they get a bit more experimental with some psychedelic sorts of vibes. It's actually a really nice touch. It's not stoner doom at all, though. Overall, I think that this is a standout record in their discography. Probably one of the better Conan albums that we've seen in some time since like their early stuff. The closing track, Grief Sequence, alone is worth the spin. 4.3 out of 5, Impaled Warriors.
This album's so good, I think Conan O'Brien would like it. Should invite them on the talk show.
Yeah.
My last pick here is Dawnwalker, House of Sand, released August 19th on Room 132. I think that's just an independent label that the band had or something. House of Sand is my introduction to Dawnwalker, and I gotta say, these English boys know how to write some killer sad boy fucking tunes. This release is their 5th full-length album, and while I did spin some of their older catalog, I realized that this album in particular is pretty different. Their old stuff is more akin to like progressive death and kind of folk sort of atmospheres, but House of Sand is still familiar, massive, sad, and a total blast to explore through the 40-minute runtime. This album is really haunting, dude, and it's meant to be consumed in one entire sitting. Perfect for like the vinyl collectors, or if you want to go on a long walk in the woods or on the beach or something. This album sits proudly weaving between rock and metal influences that are overall gloomy in vibe and space. Think Pink Floyd meets Stoner Doom kind of territory with some blackened vibes sometime. It's really cool. I love the production on this album too. You can tell the band favored something that's a little bit more organic and natural over the highly produced and polished sound of the modern metal category. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like the organic sound really favors what the band's going for. The overwhelming, eerie, and haunting presence on these tunes made this album a very nice departure from the heavier releases this month, and it's getting me excited for our fall playlist that we will no doubtedly put out and put this on for wandering around the New England outdoors. Definitely check this record out if you enjoy post-metal that's on the gloomier side. It's a killer record. 4.5 out of 5 Overgrown Homes.
I slept on this one, man, and with your description, I have to check it out.
You're gonna love
definitely
it.
excited.
What are you digging from August? Leave it down in the comments below.
As always, go with the gods. Our forge mates leave no evidence of your immortality.